Hello, viewers. How are we all today? Regardless of wherever you are in the world, I hope that you're having a lovely day or a lovely evening. I wanted to focus on the earth, focus on the world, focus on global conditions over the next 6 months, and take a good look. I'll draw one card for each month, and then we'll drill down. I'm using my Spellcasters deck for the bottom cards, and then for the clarifying cards I'll move over to my Classic Tarot Deluxe. I have been getting some requests as to where to find this deck. It is produced by Lo Scarabeo, a group of artists, developers who create tarot decks. I got mine on Amazon, but I think it's currently unavailable. But anyway, all right, back to the reading. Global conditions over the next 6 months. We've got some worrying trends. We have coronavirus, the spread of coronavirus. I will update my reading on coronavirus. Until we see a drop instead of an acceleration in the number of cases that are emerging each day, we know that we haven't reached that end point yet. It is very worrying because along with coronavirus, we have the conditions of closed borders, racism, all of those things that are coming forward at the moment. And unfortunately, I've told stories of in Australia, we've had Chinese-born Australians, born in Australia, of Chinese heritage, travelling to work as they would do on any other morning of the week in the commuter trains, and people coming up to them and saying, shouldn't you be wearing a mask? Now that is such obvious racial profiling. So coronavirus, we've seen all the Hollywood movies, the pandemics. We're kind of seeing when we look at those pictures of deserted streets in China, of cruise ships that are unable to dock, and of course cruise ships are where viruses spread because you don't have that fresh air, particularly for those inner cabins. So it's kind of like, we knew January was going to be tough. We're learning these big lessons and they're not easy. So I do want to go to the next 6 months globally, not just talking about America, though America is, one of the biggest warships we've got, if you want to liken that country, to that, or just a big ship steaming along. So it's very important what happens in America. Let's have a look at, in England, we've got Boris Johnson, the latest headlines. Boris is spoiling for a fight. He's locking press out of briefings. In Australia, we have a government that has handed out taxpayers' money just before the election into marginal seats. And of course, we've had a cabinet minister having to stand down because of her part in that. We've had these horrendous bushfires. We're in recovery. We've had some beautiful soaking rains. So, there's a balance and a healing because a number of those fires have been put out by these drenching rains. And of course, now there are parts of the country on the eastern coast of Australia that are flooding. There's a famous Australian poem, Dorothy McKellar, who said Australia is a land of droughts and flooding rains, and we're seeing that played out, but in the extreme because of climate change. So, there are a lot of very, very unsettling conditions globally. We have, less peace in the Middle East than what we've had. We've got Russia, authoritarian regime in Russia, just getting rid of a whole prime minister and getting rid of the whole government and reinstalling someone else, and changing the way their democracy works. It is thought to hold on to power. This person's a very aggressive authoritarian leader. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Vladimir Putin. We have absolute polarization of our society between the centre and what's left of that centre to the centre and what's right of that centre. And we've got a government in the US that's looking more and more like a cult. conditions are not dissimilar to the 19 to the Second World War and the rise of Hitler. It's really worrying. We are at a pivotal point. So let's have a look at what's coming up. I don't think we're at it. I don't think we're going to tip over the edge, but we're certainly tipping at the moment. Let's have a look at what's coming up in the next 6 months. The next 6 months for the globe, for the world. What's coming up in the next 6 months? So look, it's I was going to say it's a safe bet. It's obviously within the realm of possibility to see an acceleration of natural disasters. I heard the word earthquakes, and I'll bring that forward. That unfortunately is less of a prediction these days than more of a certainty. Also flooding sea levels as well. So let's have a look. So the 6 months, we're starting here in February. We've got choices to make, and this is the heavy choices that we need to make. The wolf at the back of this card, is also offering protection. So that wolf is not circling. That wolf has this person's back as she considers what decisions she needs to make. Okay, February, March. March is going to be a tough month for us. We are going to experience loss in March. Unfortunately, the conditions that we're seeing now are not going to necessarily go away. By April, we're getting some kind of relief. We're starting to move out of troubled waters. February, March, April, May. May, things are coming at us. I would say that by May we've got some pretty significant events, and I feel that will be broadcast around. So this is really around the world. We will be aware of what's going on. So this is really this is almost like a roller coaster ride, really, isn't it? So we've got February, March, April, May, June. June, we've got the Three of Pentacles. So whatever comes forward in May, there is an understanding that we need unity and we need to work together to solve something. And by July, we've got having to walk this tightrope condition. So I see March as a very, very critical month, and the foundation of or not the foundation, but what's at the base of the card is the Eight of Pentacles. We are rebuilding our foundation. We are bringing what needs to come forward, the shadow side forward. And we will be taking action. So let's have a deepening of this reading. Let me just put that tarot deck to one side and deepen it with the Tarot Deluxe, and I'll bring the laptop down as well. So we're in February. We are, at the crossroads, so to speak. We're having to make really important decisions this month, one way or another. Globally, we're having to make these really important decisions because we've got these heavy forces weighing on us, and it's not a time where you can wriggle out of that decision. There is an absolute here. There are decisions that need to be made. And as I said, it's a crossroad. It's a tipping point. Show me this Two of Swords, please, Spirit. Thank you. Show me this Two of Swords. What do we need to know about this Two of Swords for the month of February? Okay, the King of Wands. It's time for leadership. It's not time to sit back. It's time to step forward with courage and with bravery. They're the decisions that we're going to have to make. Which way are you going to go? We've got support, circles of support, and I feel that this is around supporting those that do step forward. And we have the Nine of Cups. There is going to be some kind of reprieve. There is going to be some kind of divine intervention that's going to come here, I feel, because I do feel that in this instance, the Nine of Cups is around miracles occurring. So look for those miracles in some way. One more card, please. The Eight of Pentacles, where it's going to be we're going to need to put in the hard work on this situation globally. So we've got leadership. The focus is going to be on leadership. There is also reading in layers. There is also the feeling here that our leaders are really what's the word? Are a little bit ignorant about the seriousness of this situation. It's like they're surrounding themselves with only people that are like them, and they're not able to see in a way the woods for the trees, because something is coming this year. In the first 6 months of this year, I'm getting a pull to march. I feel that whether it's a major event on the global stage, there is something there that is quite substantial. There is loss here, there is grief. And when we get to March, April, we've got the Six of Swords. Yes, it's a healing card, but this is also something that's going to uproot people, that's actually going to displace people. So our leadership is really important at the moment, how we and who we choose to lead us, where we put our faith. Because I don't feel that the leaders at the moment understand the gravity of the situation that we're in. However, with this Nine of Cups, there is this idea that there could be some kind of intervention coming forward. It could be that things will get quite bad in some way, but we get this reprieve. But we understand that there is significant work that needs to be done. So the Two of Swords, big decisions for us in February, and it is around big decisions for our leaders as well. I don't feel that they're equipped at the moment to understand the kind of climate we're in, and because of that, we're actually getting these situations like roaring wildfires in Australia and coronavirus in China. What's coming next? Because we're not seeing, we're not looking hard enough at the way that we're living. And here's this decision. And in my full moon in Leo reading, you've got a lot more control over externalities than what you think you do. All right, so that's another aspect of the choice. Where are you? Where are you going to put your focus? I would suggest that another aspect to this card is choosing to stay strong within yourself and do the things that you need to do to be strong within yourself. So we've got February, we've got March. Unfortunately, there appears to be some sort of significant loss in March. Let me see if we can drill down into that. Five of Cups. It's going to be, there's a shock here. Show me the Five of Cups in March. Some kind of shock. Show me the Five of Cups. There is loss here. Shock. March. Show me March. Okay, so we've got some kind of truth emerging. So some kind of major happening is going to come forward, that in the loss we're actually going to see the truth. It's going to wake a lot of people up. And here we have the Sun card in this deck. It is illumination, but this king carries a sword of truth. And we've got, look at all these swords, the Queen of Swords. I think we've got some major outing of truth here on the world stage. It will feel shocking now, and it will wake us up. So something is going to occur. If you follow my predictions, you'll understand that something is going to come out about the current president of the US, but I think, beyond that US condition, we also have other things that are going to wake us up globally with truth coming forward. All right, so that's March. Watch for that. April, we've got a moving on. And really, for all of these cards, you can extrapolate that down to the individual level. These can be general conditions that might be coming forward for you. The Six of Swords, we have the person steering this boat is an elder and has the symbol, I think, is it of the sun above his head. So there is almost, again, I feel like this, Spirit is watching over us. Conditions may ease on the one hand, although for others they're going to have to move away from where they are. There's some kind of movement, crossing of waters here. Show me the Six of Swords, this beginning, starting to move away from troubled waters into healing. Show me this Six of Swords, this Six of Swords. Yeah, so there is again the accent on some kind of truth. We do have something emerging from the shadows, and it's going to come forward quite quickly. So that is why we've got this movement, because something is coming to light. We are being made aware of something. So that's by April. We're moving out of the shock and we're understanding what exactly is going on in our global world and why. We've got the Eight of Wands, things coming forward quite quickly. I see these as news headlines. So we've got in May lots and lots of news coming at us from every angle. But we've also got the eagle or the bird flying along beside. I hope that's not an outbreak of war. That I just had that, or tensions in the Middle East erupting. Show me this Eight of Wands. So we have February, March, April, May, June. No, let me see. February, March, April, May. We're in May. Show me this Eight of Wands for May. Show me this Eight of Wands. Okay, it could be something I'm feeling to do with the global economy. I feel that we're going to have a downturn in the global economy. In May, things are going to start to change. Yes, we are. I feel the Six of Pentacles, the strain of what has happened in the first 3 to 4 months of the year is starting now to filter through to the economy. Beware of governments trying to cover that up. Because it's worse than what they are saying. So there's a financial crisis in May of this year. All right, let's have a look at June, coming together, having to fix things. So they're not going to be able to hide that, I should say. They're going to try, but they are not going to be able to hide the true extent of the global economic downturn. So then we move to June, the Three of Pentacles coming together. You could see governments propping up banks in some way, or governments propping up something. There's too many cards there for me to take those. Because we've got the Three of Pentacles, teamwork, coming together to fix something, I feel. The Three of Pentacles, I feel this is around the economy. Show me the Three of Pentacles. Show me the Three of Pentacles. We've also got the King of Swords, so that is the clarity, objective, the leader that does what needs to be done. And we've got the Queen of Wands, so there's going to be also passion and involved in the decisions that are taken in June. And we've got the plan that comes forward that emerges in time. So I feel this is governments coming together to fix something in June related to the economy. Now our last card is July. Let's have a look at what is the condition for July. Show me walking a tightrope. Again, I'm getting a draw to the downturn in the economy. It seems like it occurs in May, flows through June, and then by July things are somewhat more stable. I feel this could be coronavirus as well. I feel that those earlier conditions really are going to what we might see in the longer term in relation to coronavirus and its impact on China, one of our super economies, and of course the trade that is done with China. Walking a tightrope, things have stabilised somewhat, but they are still precarious. Show me the Two of Pentacles in July. So we've got the loss here. So this is as a direct result of the loss. So I feel that also in March, we've got coronavirus getting worse, doing its damage. We've got the Three of Cups coming together and supporting one another. And we've also got deaths. So unfortunately, I feel that another layer of this reading does include the coronavirus in March. By March, it's looking pretty pretty dire. But I do feel a levelling off is occurring. But then we've got the impacts of coronavirus on the economy. And action needing to be taken by the government. By the time we move into July, we have this need really walking a tightrope, having to be very, very careful, very, very careful with economies, with money, and including those that money you have yourself. Now, I'm going to go to August simply because you're going to say what's going to happen. All right, there's going to be a tightening up by August here. I feel that there's strategies and plans being put into place. This is all also legal aspects. So you could see tough decisions being taken by government in August. Show me. And we had a lot of truth coming out as well. So this, depending on how that impacts on leaders, I did get a draw to Donald Trump there in March as well. We're going to possibly have some more investigations coming along by August, or we will have had those investigations and the result of those investigations by August. Show me this King of Swords, please, August. Okay, so we've got the plans being put into place here. We do have a high level of partisanship as well. There's very, very little cooperation in politics at this time, and we're likely to hear something. So the hits don't stop. We've got the Ten of Pentacles. Again, this could be back to the stock market. So it's a volatile first 6 months here that I'm seeing. I won't go any further than August because tarot is a little bit difficult in relation to timelines and things change. So for example, I could update this reading in March, April and see where we're at. But at this point in time, I feel that coronavirus is a pretty big threat to the world economy. I feel that there's likely to be bombshell news. Watch for March. It's going to be a very difficult month. There could be some truth emerging about the US leader. And we've got, I feel by the time we get to April, May, particularly by May, we've got some pretty big effects from coronavirus. This first 6 months of this year, it's all about rebuilding and learning the lesson, rebuilding after learning that lesson to ensure that the same lesson doesn't keep coming up for us. These are unsettled times. Things are coming to the surface. But the good part of this reading is that we are taking action. We are taking action on the events and the conditions that are coming forward at this time. So again, wise counsel, don't be buffeted by external realities. Now's the time to go and anchor from within. Thank you for tuning in. That's the first 6 months as I see it at this moment, certainly from February through to August of this year. Watch for March. It's going to be a really difficult month for us. I hope everybody is well. Stay well. Live simply, I think, is a good motto for this year. So thank you for tuning in.